Hey Glamfam, welcome to today's video. We are testing out the brand new Patrick Ta Major Skin Cream and Powdered Foundation Duo. So excited to test this out. If you're new here, I'm Kristi. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell. Join us. We're here every Friday and Sunday, and we'd love for you to become part of our family. Please give this video a huge thumbs up when you guys hit the like button, and when you comment below, it really does help my videos out. You can follow me on all my socials at Kristi Allure, and you can check out my merch, Glamorous Life Collections. And without further ado, let's get started.
You're still my favorite queen of the night, my friend. Let's drive off again. Let's drive off
Alright Glamfam, let's jump right into it. We are testing out the brand new Patrick Ta Major Skin Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Duo. This runs $52. You get almost a half an ounce of cream foundation at 0.42 ounces and 12 grams. And then the powder runs in about 0.31 ounces and you get 9 grams of the powder with a total weight size of 21 grams. So if you're really breaking this down, the cream foundation runs about $4.33 per gram, and the powder runs about $5.78 per gram. This is available in 24 shades. I had a little bit of a hard time deciding on what shade I was, so I ended up going with Light 2, which has more of like a golden warm undertone. I also did get Light Medium, and Light Medium 1 has more of a warm olive undertone. That was just a bit too dark on my skin by the time it oxidized, so I already did test this out, and I will end this video on a wear test of me wearing it on a different day for 8 hours in extreme humid hot weather, so you guys will be able to see that. As always, the timestamps are on the time bar as well as in the description box if you want to skip ahead at any point, but I'd really love for you to watch this whole thing and have fun with me. So today we are going to build this one up a little bit more, this Light 2. Now it may appear a little bit light, but it does work and it does oxidize into a pretty good skin tone match for me. If you're a twinsy to me, it does oxidize, so keep that in mind. And I know this is one I'll be able to wear through the winter as well, so we're gonna make it work by the time we bronze up my skin and stuff. I really do want to see today how it's going to build. I didn't wear as much on the outdoor wear test, so this is my time to really test it out and really take this for a ride. This is very unique. You know, I like what Patrick Ta is doing with his cream and blush duos, his cream and contour duo with the powder and the cream formulation. As always, he adds in that little flap to really protect the cream, which is always nice. This is definitely more of like a pro makeup artist style, where this is much easier for them to use on clients, but this is definitely more of a sheer powder. This is definitely more of a, you know, a pigment foundation, but I like it because the ingredients are nice. It's that same concept that RCMA does, Graftobian, you know, a lot of the pro that are geared more towards pro makeup artists, and they're giving us that. So this is similar to like what Wayne Goss did with his, but you did get more in the Wayne Goss. You got over 20 grams with the Wayne Goss, and you can check out my full review on that one. Unfortunately, it just wasn't, it didn't work out for me. I didn't quite like it on my skin, the foundation or the powder, to be honest. But it also is like what KVD did with Good Apple, but I love the Good Apple one, and you do get more bang for your buck with the KVD Good Apple. And personally, that one does give you more full coverage right off the bat. This is more of a buildable formulation, so this can really sheer out and look very natural on the skin, but it can also build up and give you that full coverage. We're gonna try it both with a sponge and a brush. I already know the results because I know this type of formulation. So whenever you use a sponge with products like this, you're going to get more pigment, just as I showed you in the KVD Good Apple foundation review, which you can check that out. I did a full review on that. It's still, I already went through 2 of those, or actually I already went through a whole one, and I'm on my second one of the KVD Good Apple because I use that one quite a bit off camera sometimes. So I have so many foundations that I kind of just intertwine, but that's one of my favorite balm type foundations. This one is more, it's really hard to share out the KBD Good Apple, where this one you can really build upon. So I will show you the swatch with medium 33 compared to this Patrick Ta one at light 2, so you guys can see like a comparison if you were my shade in KBD Good Apple. I like that this color tone is more yellow undertoned, which is why I kept this one. I just felt like it matched my undertone the best, like that, almost like that peachy yellow undertone, which I really appreciate. And this is again gonna take me into the winter, which is nice. I personally like these type of formulations because it's a little bit easier to work with, right? When you're on the go and traveling, or if you want to just put this in your makeup bag, this is just a great thing to have on hand because it has the powder as well. He does describe the cream foundation as a medium buildable coverage with a satin finish powder, just so you guys know. It's not like a mattifying powder, it's more of a satin finish. And it's supposed to blur out your pores as well. And I will show you what the swatches look like next to each other, just so you guys can see. And that is just like the swatch, like the one swipe swatch, and then I kind of blended it into the skin as well, just to give you guys a good perspective of what it would look like. So that's what light and light medium one look like next to each other. You can really see the olive undertones in the light medium. So if you're darker skin tone than me, that would actually be a really good one if you do have more olive undertones. Now this is upon first swatch on my hand. Obviously it always looks a little bit lighter than what you're going to really get out of the foundation once you blend it into the skin and let it oxidize. And then I'll show you guys what it looks like blended out. And you can see the light 2 blended in with me the best. You can still see light medium 1. Let's take a look at the ingredients really quick. You can see what the ingredients are for the foundation and what the ingredients are for the powder. He didn't highlight any fancy ingredients. Just so you guys know, typically they'll have like highlighted ingredients. There was no highlighted ingredients in either one of the cream foundation or the powder, but just there is talc in there, just to let you guys know if you have issues with talc being in your powders. But there wasn't anything in there that really startled me or made me feel like, oh, this is gonna make me break out. And you guys know how sensitive and acne prone my skin can be sometimes. So I haven't had any breakouts, knock on wood, in a very long time. So ever since I stayed away from that caprylic triglyceride, my skin is just fine. It's just healing, and it just has like sun damage that I have to get lasered off. All right, let's try this out. So we will start off with a brush. He did release a brush to go with this foundation and powder. It's like a brush duo. I did not purchase it because I have a ton of brushes, but that's what it looks like right there, and that's the price point. I have too many brushes to justify another brush. So I am going to use my Anissa because I've already used it with this foundation, and I love this foundation brush. Recently, you guys, this is the one I've been going to the most. So we're going to dip that in. And just what it looks like on the brush. And let me show you guys in my studio what it looks like. So that's light 2, and that's the cream foundation, and that's the powder. So again, that's the cream foundation and the powder. And remember, the powder is supposed to be more of like a translucent effect, just so you guys know that. That's why I like to do it in natural daylight, show you guys what it looks like on my iPhone, just away from all my studio lights, just so you can get a better indication. All right, so it's already on my brush. We'll do this side with the brush, that side with the sponge. And we're just gonna push that out, starting in the center of the face. Oh my goodness, I forgot to put primer on. No, that's wonderful. Let's take that off real quick. Sorry, you guys. I want to really give it a fair shot, so I never like to just do it without a primer. I already have my keel, so it glided over my skin pretty good. That's good news. But you guys know I gotta put a little bit more of this on my Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. I use this as a primer too sometimes, which would have been fine, which is probably why it still glided over nice and smooth. But this is the type of product I want to make sure, because if you are new to my channel, I am in my mid 40s and 44. I have dry skin, normal to dry skin, but lately it's been pretty normal because it's so humid here in SoCal, but typically it's just normal dry. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's very dry during the winter. So this is my Smashbox Primerizer. I'm just using this one first. This is my go-to method, and I just want to make sure I always give things because I know this works with every foundation. This is my Photo Finish Primer by Smashbox. I was just telling my cousin, my sissy, Shannon, that she was asking me for a blurring primer for her pores, and I said, this is the only one I know that works magnificent. I will be stocking up and getting a couple of them because that's all I use. This is just my favorite blurring primer. There's just nothing, and I'm already running low on that. Nothing better than this primer. And I have uber sensitive skin that pretty much everything makes me break out. So to have a good primer is just key to me. So we'll do that. All right, now we're primed. Goodness gracious, Kristi. See, I was so excited to show you guys. So again, brush on this side. I feel like it glides on a little bit easier even with that primer down, but it still glided on pretty nicely. Nice, like buildable type coverage. I think it's very smoothing on the skin. I don't think it's like doing anything magnificent for my pores, but not many foundations do, let's be honest. But it just looks like a very sheer wash, which is beautiful. So this is with a brush, that side. This is nothing. Yeah, that's really pretty. Okay, there was nothing really on that brush. I don't know why I started going on that side. But anyway, it looks really good. I pulled you guys even closer. And remember, you can watch this video in 4K. Just hit that little star button and it will really, you'll get up close and personal with me. All right, so that's really pretty. I like that. Let's put a little bit on the forehead. I don't really put a whole lot of foundation on my forehead. I try to keep that pretty sheer to avoid, you know, the fine lines getting ruined. But I still think that's a really good match, actually. I think it's pretty. Okay, now we're gonna take my Dose of Colors sponge, nicely cleaned and damp. Make sure it's not too damp though. I think this is a little too damp. I just cleaned it really good. Okay, so we're gonna take this. That's what it looks like. We're going to stamp that in. You definitely get more pigmentation right off the bat. I already told you, I warned you guys, that's what happens with a sponge. I preferably, because this is my preference of coverage, I like it with a sponge more. Wow. I likey, you guys. That looks good. See, I like it better with the sponge. For me, it's the same thing with KVD Good Apple. I did the same thing. It's just, they just perform better with a sponge to me. Yeah, that looks so good, and it just melts right into the skin. I'm gonna go over this side a little bit and really start pressing that in. You could even just build it up underneath the eye and kind of use this as a concealer as well. I'm gonna use concealer, but that looks really good. All right, let's put on some concealer. Let's go with my Luminous Matte. Actually, let's do one size just because I feel like with this one being more voluminous, I kind of like to use more matte concealers. I don't know, I like to switch it up a little. This is 2G, one size. I'll just put a little bit there, a little bit there. All right, I'm gonna take the back of my sponge and just whatever was left over from the foundation and blend all of it together. All right, let's try this powder out. So I am gonna take it with a puff, and let's use my little Tiffany blue color one. This is just my sheen ones. And we're gonna try this underneath the eye. So this is brand new. We're gonna see how this works as setting the under eye first. And if we don't like it, we'll go over it with my one size. I did not set it the other day really when I wore it, and that made, yikes, yeah. You'll notice the difference when I set it down and when I don't. I barely set it down. I just really wanted to test it out to see what it was like without a lot of powder. So that's what the powder looks like underneath my eye. Now let's kind of just go over the rest of my face and see how we like this. I don't know how I feel about this powder, to be quite honest, you guys. I don't think it's anything magical. Let's start off with that. For over $5 a gram, like, I don't know if it's anything magical, but I don't think there's anything bad about it either. So that's my kind of my consensus on it. I do wish there was more pigment in this powder. I wish it wasn't so translucent, let's put it that way. But that's what it looks like. I am gonna go in with my one size just because I already know how it holds up without it. So I wanna test it with it now. Yeah, there's just something so magical about this one size one. It just blurs and just makes everything so amazing. I just like that this one gives me that little additional coverage too. I think that's what I like. It's just a powder I know works for me. It looks beautiful on my skin. I wore this through a 5-mile run, this one size powder the other day, and it literally didn't budge. And it didn't make my skin sensitive. I just kind of did a light dusting over it, over my Dermatology sunscreen, and my gosh, my skin looked so good even after my humid, hot 5-mile run outside. So that's why I love the difference. I want to show you the difference. This is with the one size versus before. I don't know what it is. I just find it just better. So this does feel tacky still, just so you guys know that. There's still a little bit of tack there. So you definitely are, this is a type of foundation I would set down. I would not walk out the door without setting this one down at all. It just makes everything better too. So I'm gonna go in with my Armani 21. My goodness, you guys, I need you all to just go on Armani website, and I'll put the link below, and just put an in-stock notification so they do not take this product away. I don't know what I'm gonna do without this. This is my favorite contour shade. This 21 warm brown is just everything to me. And if this is getting low and I'm like, what am I going to do without this product? Again, I wore this on my 5-mile run and it was just amazing. So, best contour you'll ever use. It's just amazing. Do this quickly, then I'll jump off camera. I just want to show you guys what this is gonna look like over the products. We're just gonna go over my sponge, go over that. Yeah, everything glided on nicely over it, which is amazing. So I love that. We're gonna set down a little bit more with my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush. I'm trying it a different way this time, and I'm just going to stipple this one because it's still tacky. But I just want you guys to see how everything kind of glided over, which is really nice. We can try a little bit of contour powder. I'm gonna go into my little makeshift Z palette. Like, I did get the bigger one. This is a bigger one from the first one I showed you guys. Amber, I know, is looking for little travel ones. This was the one I showed you guys originally, and this is the other size, just to give you an idea. So I ended up putting, because I wanted everything in here, I ended up doing this one. So this is like my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Velvet, KVD, my contour, my bronzer shades. So it's just easier for me to do that. It has a nice size mirror too. I'm just gonna put some contour on. So yeah, everything glides on nicely. Just want you guys to see, I kind of already knew that, just because again, I've already played with this. Now I'm gonna take my Makeup Forever puff, and I'm just gonna kind of go over that. I always like doing this. I just feel like it just blends everything in. But yeah, that's how it looks like. So this is with my contour and bronzer. I can't show you the blush yet because that's on a different video, but it looks really good. I like it so far. It just, keep in mind, it is still a little bit tacky, so let that dry down a little bit. Make sure you're stippling in your powders, but I do think it's really pretty. I mean, I'm over 40, so if it works for me, it's gonna work for the younger girls, but I still think my ladies over 40 are still going to really appreciate the compactness of this. I don't know if that's a word, but just that everything's in one. If you're not a big powder person, this might be a good powder for you because it is very translucent, which is nice. For me, not my favorite powder, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, but we'll go over my final thoughts in a minute. I am gonna jump off camera. I'm gonna go film another video and then I will come back later and kind of just give you my final thoughts, put this into an initial ranking and just what my recommendation is, as always, like I always do on every video. So I will see you guys in a little bit. I have had this on for about 4 hours now. I filmed another video and I really don't mind it. I don't love it, let's just say that. I don't think it's the best foundation I've ever used. Definitely not the best powder. I like the cream foundation more than I like the powder. The powder's okay. Again, it's not anything bad. It's not like clinging to any dry spots or really disrupting my makeup, but I do feel like the foundation is caking through here a little. I see it. I can see the makeup and that's building it up. I don't find that I had as much cakiness when I used a lighter method. So I do feel like this is one that's better not building up. Even though it builds up and it's nice and it looks pretty on my skin, I do think light 2 actually works well. Like I told you guys, I knew it oxidized to a point where it would match eventually. So let's go over this. I am actually gonna give this, I know you guys are gonna be a little confused, but I'm actually gonna give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It's not that I don't like it, I just don't think it's the best out there. And where I find that, all right, let's just go over my rate card. This is how I come out with my star system. And this is all preliminary because this could change over time. Application, I actually am gonna give it 100% because I do think it applied really nicely with a brush or a sponge. So I definitely liked the application. Coverage, initial coverage, I'm actually gonna give that a 95% because I think it built up very nicely. Again, if you like more full coverage, go with a sponge. If you like more of a sheer coverage, definitely use your fingers or a brush, however you like to apply. I haven't tried it with my fingers yet. So coverage, 95%. Shade range is where I think 24 shades is good, but I just had a tough time with that shade range. So I'm gonna give that one a 90%. I don't think it was quite there. Long wearing, this is where I don't think it held up, as you will be able to see at the end of this video when I did wear a lighter coverage of this. It still was breaking apart by the end of the day. And it was really hot and humid, so keep that in mind. So as far as long wearing goes, I'm gonna give it a 70%. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best for sure. Ingredients, I actually liked the ingredients. So I'm gonna give it a 90% because I think maybe if there was different ingredients in there, it would have made it last a little bit longer and not look so cakey. And that's all, determined by ingredients. So I'm gonna give it a 90%. I don't know if it was the best. I like the fact that there wasn't anything in there that affected my skin, but I think if it had maybe something else in there, maybe it would have lasted a little bit longer. Is it worth the money? This is where I kind of felt like I'm gonna give it a 70% because $52 is a steep price point, but you are getting a powder and a foundation, so I'm trying to keep that in mind as well. But I just don't know. I think there's just better foundations out there. So I am gonna say 85% of me would recommend this product because it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're not much of a powdered girl, this powder will work for you. And this will be a great powder to use because it is so lightweight. For someone like me that likes a little bit more pigmentation in my powders, like the Charlotte Tilbury one, or even the one size one to go over foundations. I just found, you guys saw that it just is smoother to me in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. Remember, take everything I say with a grain of salt because we all have different preferences in skin types and ages and all of that. So take all of that into account. I think if you have more textured skin or you have acne breakouts or any of that, I don't think I would recommend this product at all. Now, if you have more youthful skin, more just gorgeous, like nearly flawless skin, you don't have a lot of texture, aging lines and stuff like that, then I think this is really a beautiful, convenient product, especially for young girls. I think that's going to be amazing. And again, you get a powder and a foundation in one. It's really easy to travel with. And it is really nice maybe just to run to the grocery store and do like a light layer. That would be really beautiful as well. So 85% of me would recommend this. I do think that he has something very special he's doing with his line, and I love the concept. I love that this is like, you know, this is great for makeup artists as well. So, you know, it just really depends on what you're looking for. And when I say 85% of it, that's just because that's for my preference and my skin and my foundations. I just love my Hourglass one so much. I love my Makeup Forever HD Skin so much. I love my One Size and Makeup Forever and Charlotte Tilbury and Chantecaille powders too much to say 100% of me or a 5 out of 5. So that's how I mean. I know I don't try to be so hard on my rankings, but that's just where I'm at. And let me know if it works for you. Comment below if you've already picked this up. This is something you were interested. Please let me know. I love your feedback. I love to know what you guys are thinking. And I love knowing for different skin types. If you have oily skin, does it work for you? Let us know in the comments because I don't have oily skin. For dry skin, it did work. I mean, it's not terrible for dry skin. So just so you guys know that. I just don't know how it's going to hold up on oily skin. So that would be, I think it'd be better for dry skin, or normal to dry skin, I should say. As long as you prep right, you get the right moisturizers and primers and stuff like that. But all in all, that's my final thoughts on it. I do love the packaging. I think the packaging is really sleek and beautiful. And I love his whole aesthetic. I love that he's keeping everything in the family. Like everything looks the same. And I love the fact that he didn't put coconut oil in there. So I greatly appreciate that. But I just love too many of my other products so much more to give it a 5 out of 5. But who knows, I could change my mind in a month and I could like it. So like I said, there's a place for this. This is something I want to continue playing with and seeing how I would use it and like it. So thank you so much for watching. If you are new here, before you go, please remember to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell. Join us. We're here every Friday and Sunday, and we just love for you to become part of our family. Please give this video a huge thumbs up. When you guys hit that like button and when you comment below, it really does help my videos out. Keep on watching till the end. We're going to end this on my outdoor wear test on a different day, a longer extended period of time, so you guys can really gauge on that. Please also follow me at Kristi Allure on Instagram, on TikTok, Kristi Allure, and check out my Merge Glamorous Life collections. And I will see you guys later on in the video. Bye, guys. All right, Glam Fam, I wanted to do a quick check-in and just kind of do my final check-in, let you guys see what this looks like. This is a different day now, and I didn't use as much. I used very little product, but as you can see now, grant you, it is really hot today, like extremely hot for my area. This part of Orange County by the ocean doesn't typically get this hot, and it is extremely humid today. So foundation is not going to wear as well as it typically would. I didn't powder this up too much. So this is what happens when I don't powder my foundation, girls. And I have dry skin, and this is what happens. It starts to wear down. Now, I don't think the powder portion of this is that amazing. I'm just going to be completely honest. When I use my One Size powders or my Charlotte Tilbury, it lasts, my makeup lasts so much longer. My Viseart powders, where I don't feel like this part of the product is that great. Now, I do like the foundation for like quick one and done. I'm filming this on a different day. This is 8 hours on my over 40 skin. I have done a workout today, so I am pretty sweaty running errands and stuff like that. So I did want you guys to see kind of what it looks like and how it's wearing and just kind of how it wore today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please comment below, say hello. I love hearing from you guys. Please remember to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank